here's what I've got here. I've got some paper towels. I've got my black and white paint, and I'm just using, again, the Apple Barrel Matte Black, Folk Art Home Decor Chalk, White Adirondack paint, blah, blah, blah. And then I've got some water here. I've got a small fan brush for spatter and a little palette knife here just to scrape paint on. I've got a cat's tongue, also known as a filbert brush here, kind of small, and then just a small round. So you know what I like to do? Just grab a few brushes, don't think too much about it, and let the brushes that you pick, let the tools that you pick make the marks. And I just don't like to really plan stuff out too heavily, as you know. So we're going to use this number stencil again for this one. I love that. I've got these cool little stencils that I've had for a long time. Kind of see that design. Sorry about that. It doesn't really, yeah, I guess you can see it okay there. Here's this one. That one's fun. I like stuff like this because with these big areas you can make inside of them. It's fun. Here's this really cool little spatter and spilled coffee kind of look and some checkerboard, pretty neat. And then this one, I really love these kind of stencils. It's very similar to this one, so I like this a lot. I really like that tribal mark look, so I think this one definitely pulls that off. And then yeah, so we've got everything here. Let's just go ahead and get into this. All right, here's this piece all done now. I really like how it came out, but the beauty of doing these and doing a series of these with your hand painted papers and then all the mark making and stenciling on top is you get to discover what works for you and what doesn't. Like this for me it's very busy. I love all the layers, but I would like to push more of it back here and there. So this is such a great way to be able to discover all different ways of doing this. So, you know, we took our hand painted papers on this one and just glued it to watercolor paper. I wanted it to have a really nice thick base. And then this ended up being my focal point here. And I really love how this rusted piece of paper down here came out. This is you know, it was so prominent at first, as were these ones with the mark making on them. But now it's pushed back and peeking through in areas, which I think it makes it much more interesting. I really too love this number stencil. And you know, just grab your stencils. I was going through last night before I went to sleep. I was laying in bed flipping through a bunch of the stencils I have, and I set aside a few to donate to the elementary school up here because I just won't use them. And so I'm getting rid of things that I don't want to use anymore, and then I'm pulling out things and making them much more easily accessible so that I can use them more and more. I love how this came out on this piece, and I really love this little stencil with all these marks. It's this one here. And you know, you find what works for you and you throw it in. And then whatever doesn't work for you, this medium, this way of doing it, like I said earlier, is just the best way for me to kind of experiment and move through that. So I have these, okay, I want to address one more thing too. This is bent. As you can see, it's not laying flat. I actually put all of these under a bunch of weight for like 2 weeks and it helped. But I am gonna iron this. But once you get these framed, you're really not gonna have to worry about it. But when I do iron something like this, I iron it dry, of course, because it's got layers of glue inside there. And I iron the back side, and you can even cover it with a piece of fabric to be extra safe. But that works very well to flatten your artwork when you're working with a lot of medias and glues and stuff like that. So I wanted to show you with the mat how this looks. I love it. I think it's really cool. And like I said, this piece is very busy. So I definitely want to work some more with tone and stuff down. But man, you just gotta take the chains off of yourself entirely and go wild. And then once you've gone wild with something, then you can come back and fine tune later. But if you never take the reins off, if you just are always so tight and, you know, worried about ruining a piece, there's so much that you could discover that you won't be able to discover because you've got yourself tightened down way too much. So, you know, that's a cool thing about doing this. So I hope you like this. And if you've got hand-painted papers laying around, utilize them like this. I'm doing a few different ways on the channel here of how to take this art form as a base and use it as a jumping off place. So if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe, hit the like for me, and come on back. And if you don't have hand painted papers yet, start going around and checking out videos on hand-painted papers, and I really invite you to look at my channel. I've got a lot of tutorials on hand-painted papers, and get yourself a stash going, and then let yourself go wild. This, you know, the thing I love the most about art, and I always say this, and I probably will always say it, is that it is the best therapy I have ever found for myself. I get lost in doing a project like this, and whatever problems I have going on in my life, they fade to the background. And when I'm not hyper focused on all that nonsense, a lot of it resolves itself. So I hope you give yourself the gift of this and come on back real soon and we'll have more fun. Thank you so much for coming by. Have a great day.